Hi, it's David Rothfeder again. We are in session five, right? Session five of season two of Night Witches. Oh my God, shit has just gotten real. Um, so let's do a previously on, and actually let's start with Horst. I'm sorry. Let's start with Hannah, and then Masha, because you were the two who weren't in last week's session, and then we'll go into Ira and then Dasha for the reviews of what happened. Now, I already asked Dono, and he said that he did get a chance to catch up on last week. Horst, did you have a chance to, or is this going to be a big surprise?
No, I watched the last session.
Okay. So yeah, you know what I mean when a lot happened. But let's start with Hannah. What were some of the last things that happened to Hannah when we last saw her?
So what I remember is that we had to bomb our own airstrip. And before we went on the operation, I persuaded Donna. What's your character's name? I don't have the.
Yeah, it's Masha.
Masha, sorry. I persuaded Masha, although she was concussed and injured, to actually fly the mission. And I think my trying to persuade her somehow was received a bit differently than I thought. I think Masha fell in love with Hannah. Or at least misunderstood my, my caring for her, which is unusual for Hannah, I have to admit. And then after the mission, while trying to land the plane, Hannah crashed it.
Okay. Masha, what's been going on in Masha's life recently, other than flying while having a concussion?
Yeah, that was the best idea ever. It's just a good job that I felt so badly that I let Dasha fly and I did the navigating, because other than that, I think there will be a lot more deaths on our hands. Excuse me. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I guess realizing that Hannah was in love with her was a big surprise. But I think things are harsh enough on the front that I'm willing to accept that Hannah could loosen up, a little bit. Who knew? And then I think after flying the successful mission to bomb our own airfield, I got sent off to hospital to have my wounds looked at. So I think I come back to the squadron fit and ready for duty, and not really realizing why people are treating me so strangely when I return, because Masha is apparently a nice person when she's concussed.
Yeah, the medical staff basically said, "Wait, you flew? No, no, no." So speaking of some recent missions, what's been going on in Ira's life?
I mean, most recently, Dasha and my sister Sonia went down behind enemy lines, and yeah, nothing else really matters to Ira right at the moment.
That kind of took up Ira's things, but Dasha, would you like to fill in some of those gaps as to what happened between the bombing of their own airfield and you going down behind enemy lines?
Oh boy, it was none of it was good. So the 218th really hates us now because they had to spend the day fixing things and burying German bodies and dragging crash destroyed planes off the runway rather than actually flying missions. I don't know what they think they would have done better. But
well, whatever they would have done it better.
Right, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so
yeah, we stole their planes, then we tried to steal their coffee, then we bombed up their runway. Yeah.
I mean, it was our runway too, and we helped. Well, we ended up not helping much with cleaning it up because we went to retrieve our various planes that we had to land away from the airfield, and also Yelena's body because she was killed in the crash with Tasha. Oksana managed to be the worst repeatedly. Let's see. Oh yeah, so then we got back and the men had like vandalized our planes. Luckily they didn't make them not work. They just like painted graffiti all over them. And the tents. Ira and Dasha went looking for Nina, who was tied up behind the latrines, so that they could vandalize the planes. Yeah, everything sucked. Everything was it was so bad. And yeah, and then the mission also went badly.
It's as if your home life is terrible and you don't get any sleep, that you don't perform as well.
You think, yeah, it's possible that being distracted by all of the shitty things happening back at the base could maybe have affected our judgment a little on the mission. But then, yeah, so Dasha and Sonya kept hitting the wrong places or from too high or something, and nothing would explode properly. It was a fuel depot. It was supposed to explode a lot. So Tasha and Kardina went in way too low. Did in fact blow it up, and the resulting shockwave knocked Dasha and Sonya's plane out of the air, basically, and caught Tasha and Kardina's plane on fire. They made it back just long enough to crash land and die. Like I said, it was just it was a horror show.
Yeah, it was not good. Well, excellent. Yeah, so things are not looking good for Section 1A right now. This is on top of the whole 586 having heavy casualties from repeated German, attempts of destroying the airfield. Yeah, it's been a rough couple. Oh wait, it's been a rough couple of days. So I'm going to try something that I haven't done before, and I think we're going to do a couple of paint the scenes, and we have 2 scenes to paint right here. We have Dasha's crash, and we have Tasha's crash. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go around and let's just do character keeper order, and everyone will paint one scene from one of the 2 scenes, and then we'll go back around and do one scene from the scene that you didn't do. So everyone's going to add a description for for each of the crashes. And I think that this is going to be like visually like a series of like jump cuts juxtaposing the Dasha's position versus the realization that Tasha's dead. So let's start with Brian. Why don't you paint a detail about one of the two scenes? By the way, I think I've got everything up that you guys need in the chat, but if there's something that you're missing, just ask me in chat and I'll get it taken care of.
Well, let's start with maybe Sonia reaching into a pocket and clutching. It's like a handkerchief or something that would match one that Ira has that was given to them both by their mother.
Okay. Masha, what's a detail from one of those two crashes?
So in the Tasha and Cardina plane, has that made it back to base, or did that go down immediately over the?
That crashed on the runway.
Okay. So I think the first thing, they landed it badly, right? So it came in belly and just the wheels shattered underneath it, and everyone runs over to see if they can get them out. But the first thing they see really is that these people, it's a wonder that they survived to make the landing at all, right? They're badly burnt, covered in smoke.
Okay. I just realized I'm not doing this in character keeper order, so I'm just going to keep going in the order, whatever order this was. Bethany, what's a detail from one of the two crashes?
I think my detail for one of them is probably kind of later. So, oh yeah. So, Dasha and Sonia actually managed to land the plane. We said that last time, and like immediately go to run because I don't think either of them like saw what they don't know what happened. Like, they're too busy trying to land the plane. And I think at the same time they both like notice this gigantic fireball over the tree line and realize, wait, okay, and like stop and look at it and like, okay, maybe we have time.
Okay. Horst, what's a detail from one of the two crashes?
So let me get this straight. Where's my section info? So Tasha and Cardina crash landed and
Yes.
died upon landing.
It's a fiery wreck right now.
Yeah, so I think that it's a shot from very far away, maybe over the tree line or something, and we just see the smoke coming from the plane, and then there's this light reflected in the sky as if there's fire bursting.
Okay. And I'm going to add a detail to one of the crashes. So Sonia and Dasha are in the forest, and they've just ran from their plane, and they're doing a quick inventory check of what they have on them. And they find, and they go, okay, do you have your gun? Yes. Okay. I got your rations, and they hold up bottle, both bottles of high energy milk sweets. I'm sorry, containers of high energy milk sweets. Sonia goes and finds that she does have a badly singed map, but the compass is working properly. Which brings us back to Brian. What's a detail about Tasha's crash?
I think we see one of the obscenities scrawled on the side of the plane getting consumed in flame.
Nice. Masha, what's a detail from Dasha's crash?
There is a illuminated in the fiery sky. We see a Focke-Wulf that had been scrambled to intercept the raid, but probably arriving way too late to save the millions or whatever gallons of oil that's vital to the German war effort.
Okay. Bethany, what's a detail of Tasha's crash?
I think like Oksana and Ira ended right before it, right? So I think Oksana is busy telling everybody, everyone, they all died honorably. It's okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, so I think like when Oksana and Ira kind of get to the crashed plane, Oksana is telling everybody they all died honorably. You should be proud of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just missed a detail. And I'm like, wait, what? What was that? No, that totally makes sense for Oksana. And then Horst. What is a detail from the Dasha crash? Because the other one was from the perspective of the airfield.
Yeah, so they're checking their rations. They find the sweet condensed milk, and when they are about to set off, maybe we see like a low shot over the forest floor, and where their boots hit the floor, and there's like a German gun shell that they push deeper into the mud.
Very ominous. I love it. So my detail from the Tasha crash is a bucket brigade being formed to pass water, and the shot focuses on the hands and the buckets, and it goes kind of down the line and slowly up to women's shoulders, men's shoulders. It goes up to, and we get a shot illuminated by fire of Lieutenant Oleg Chazov being part of that bucket brigade. So let's start with at the base. What is Masha doing right now?
I think I've just jumped off Oh, sorry. When I go to hospital, do I stay on the base or do I go to a rear staging area?
Nope, the hospital. I mean, is there? It's basically the infirmary on the base.
Okay, grand. So, Masha is supposed to be confined to bed for a while longer, but when the planes start to come in, or plane rather, starts to come back, she sits up in her bed and then she hears the unmistakable sound of someone making a hard landing, and no, the nurse or doctor or whoever cannot keep her from running out to check who it is.
Okay, yeah, you come out and you see the crash, and you do get to see a glimpse of it being number 38. Now, having not been in the mission, you don't know who was assigned to 38, but you know it was one of your squad's planes. And you hear Marova scream, "We need water now!" And like just won't stop. And you, since you were in the hospital, it took you a second to recognize Marova with her head being shaved. You don't know what that's about, but definitely Marova's voice is hoarser than usual, and frantic.
So yeah, I'm gonna run over to her and grab her arm and just ask her who was in 38.
Tasha and Kardina, but Dasha's not back yet.
Well, don't worry, she'll land.
Look, we need. I don't have time to freak out right now. We need water.
So is it down to buckets, or is there a fire brigade kind of some kind of a primitive fire engine that we could?
I think this is this is close to the front in World War II. I'm going to say bucket brigade is kind of the default here.
Okay. So yeah, I think Masha will go to the pumps, and she's used to a hard day in a factory, so I think I can just pump in my pajamas or my nightdress or whatever it is, while everyone else, ferries buckets or chain guns buckets up.
Yeah, and I think your bare feet are sinking into the mud, and you like it. Yeah, your feet are all muddy, and it's just getting all over the place. Hannah, where are you when you hear of this crash?
So let's see. 281 was also, all the planes were part of the mission.
281 had not been repaired from the previous mission.
So I think when the news broke, we probably see Hannah trying to, clean the outside of the plane from the profanities.
Okay, and what do you do when you hear of the crash?
Yeah, Hannah runs outside, scans the situation, and then just runs up to the chain and passes buckets.
Okay, Ira, what are you up to right now?
Ira was probably kind of dragged along by Oksana, and so is participating in putting out the fire. But
Okay. You see though, um, uh, you see pulled right off to the side of the runway because you just landed before Tasha. Um, you you see a humpback. They're ready to go, ready to fly. I mean, as it needs its maintenance, it probably could use some fuel, but there is nothing stopping you from jumping into humpback and well, theoretically, there's nothing stopping you. There from jumping back into the plane and flying off.
To to do what?
Well, your sister's out there.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to try to land with them, I would have done that at the time. Yeah, I don't think drawing more attention to where they landed is going to help them.
Yeah, I remember in the flight, it was Oksana who forced you to turn back.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just
Yeah.
making it a strong temptation to make horrible, horrible decisions.
Yeah, no, that was the thought at the time. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that me flying there is going to help them. So, I guess the temptation is to ditch the fire brigade and go start telling people that we need, that they're out there and they're going to need, to be found. Yeah, that's probably once Oksana is distracted with that, or probably just leaves to go tell anyone and everyone she can they need to go.
Okay.
Find Sonia and Dasha.
I'm gonna say act up like a lady because you're putting family before the immediate needs of the base and also above military protocol.
So that's 7. What's act up like a lady? I've never done that before.
It's all act up. It's just guts instead
Guts.
of luck or medals.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I think I might have a -1. Yeah, I do have a -1. So that's a 6.
Ooh, ouch. So yeah, you go up and you grab the first officer you can find, and you're and go ahead and say what you're going to say to them.
Plane 256 landed behind enemy lines with Dasha and Sonia aboard. They'll be headed back here, but they may need help.
We've got a plane on fire right now. We've got other concerns, Sergeant. Now go help with that damn fire.
And I'm probably just searching for the next higher ranked officer I can to talk to.
Yeah, so I think you didn't even notice who you talked to. You just go to the next officer. And they're like, the major told you to join the fire brigade. Join the fire brigade. If you didn't catch that, the first officer you went to was Major Kaya.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would join the fire brigade, but I would just be screaming at them to send them help while I'm doing it.
Okay. So Dasha, you are on the ground with Sonia. She's like, I think I hear footsteps. My God, they're going to get us.
Yeah, we need to hide.
I don't want to go to one of their camps.
Neither do I. So I think I'd just start looking for somewhere to hide in a ravine or something. It's still dark.
It's around sunrise right now, so
Okay.
we're starting to get more light.
Right. So this is a good. Yeah, this is definitely time to get out of sight.
I think as the beams start creeping above the tree, you do see, oh, hey, there is a hollowed out tree.
I have bad memories of hollowed out trees.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah. Also, there's two of us. I don't want to do that. Same thing didn't happen to
Yeah, just the sight reminds you of the stench of your comrade quickly rotting in the damp air.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not there. Come on, let's keep going. Keep going.
So you're basically trying to just hoof it as far and fast as you can go until you can find a place to hide.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm looking for a good place to hide the whole time, but if distance or hiding, both okay.
Why don't you go ahead and roll guts?
Guts, okay. Not. Oops. Oh. Yeah. I keep okay. Here, I'm just gonna roll 2 new ones. I keep moving them instead of rolling them. All right. Move these down here, out of the way. 8 plus. Okay. So I rolled. Well, I thought I didn't roll 2, and then okay, so I'm going to go by the purple ones just because I know for a fact they both rolled because I made new ones. And that's an 8.
Okay. Was that after your guts?
Oh, no, that's before. Let me see. Guts. I have 2 guts, right? Do I have 2 guts? I think I do. Yes, 2. So it's 10.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Guys, keep. I've done this twice so far, and both times you've rolled 10s.
What awful choices did I avoid?
Just so you know, the awful choices.
All of them are bad.
So on a 7 to 9, you have to choose 2. Return after some time in hiding. Where did you hide? Return unfit for duty. How were you hurt? Take harm is established. Return under a cloud of suspicion. What arouses the Politruk's suspicion? Expect an informal interview. On a miss,
Wow.
This is where it gets really bad. You don't avoid capture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I still have to pick one?
No.
Okay. Cool.
We'll go into what happens there, but
Okay.
yes, that was a very good time not to fail.
Yeah.
So eventually they get the fire out, and it's actually Oleg is the one who pulls the completely burnt corpses out of the plane. And they're so badly burnt that they couldn't even, like, they need to find the dog tags to figure out who was who. Hey, Masha, that's the guy who attacked you is now pulling out one of your comrades' bodies. How do you feel about that?
I am running over to where he is, and I am pushing. I'm going to say that he's pulled out of the pilot seat, which I suspect because I know that she was a good pilot. I'm assuming he's pulling out Tasha, so I'm just pushing him away from her.
Yeah, that sounds like you're acting like a hooligan.
Okay. Let me roll. That is 13 with my +2.
Okay.
Guts, right, for hooligan? Or is it luck?
Hooligan is luck.
Okay, so 13, yeah.
So you get to choose two options off of the acting up.
I am going to add one to the mission pool, and I am going to fuck it. I'm going to make him do what I want, even though it doesn't make any difference really.
What? So you want? Is it you don't want him?
I think my words are like, "Get away from her, you fucking fucker," or something really, really eloquent, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, crazy women. If you don't want me doing my job, fine. And he kind of walks off exasperated.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit down in the mud. I guess it's definitely mud, given all the water that's gone around here, and
to be fair, it's usually mud anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I can do anything at this stage.
So Ira and Hannah, you see that take place.
Yeah, Hannah slowly walks over to Masha. Have I seen that Ira wanted to find people to help her, find a sister?
I mean, I'm yelling it pretty loudly at them to send its people at this point. So you probably didn't notice before then because there was a lot going on, but at that point,
yeah. So when it gets more quiet and Ira is still shouting, so Hannah makes a couple of hesitant steps towards Masha and then turns towards Ira. What's going on, Ira?
They had to land behind enemy lines. Sonia and Dasha.
Do you know where?
Yes.
She looks at the burnt bodies and says, "Well, what are we waiting for?"
They won't listen to me.
Well, they have other things to do now. If we are not going to get them, you know what will happen to them?
Okay. What do you think we should do?
Well, we are flying to where they crash landed.
I was there, but us with them behind enemy lines, I don't see how that helps.
Well, maybe we can lure, whoever is following them away, for example. I mean, if you want to lose your sister, that's on you. But I don't want to lose our best pilot.
All right. Oksana's here. She'll tell them where they are. Let's go.
So, what is the plan for you to get there? Are you going by foot? Are you taking a plane? Are you trying to take multiple planes? The only one that is good to fly, it will need to be fueled up, is Humpback right now.
Well, is it close enough that we could, I don't know, like take a bike or something, or steal a car, or is it like really far away?
Well, I mean, it was a night run, so it's possible to cover that distance. It will be much faster to take a plane. Now,
I mean,
this
there's
is
the front
behind
lines,
enemy
right?
lines. This is also behind enemy lines, so you are going to be crossing the front. However, you're going to end up doing this. Correction: crossing the front during the day.
So would we able to fit into other people in the plane is the question.
There's not seats. So you know, is it possible to get two other people? Well, the rough equivalent of, weight ratios. Yeah, you think that you might be able, if you're not carrying any bombs or, you'll be cutting it close, but yeah, you think you can fit 4 people's weight into the plane and not have it crash. How to make it happen?
I run over to Merova, the what's her name?
Nina?
Yeah, Nina. And I say, you remember that you owe me one.
Oh, fuck, what the hell do you want?
Fuel up Humpback.
Fuck, what the hell are you going to do?
We need our pilots back.
Forget the damn favor. Look, there's no way I can get away with doing it. However, everyone's busy enough. I keep an extra couple of barrels of fuel out by the food storage, so to make it harder for the men to steal it. You bring Dasha back, I owe you 2.
Thought so. And then I point at her. So this becomes a fashion or anything? Because Hannah is shaved as well.
Yeah, it's the get fucked over by men special.
Men are pigs. But actually, I blame their mothers. They didn't educate them properly. And then I run over to the food store and try to get the barrels.
Yeah. I mean, these are literal, like, fuel drums, so probably...
Joe, let's just hop in Humpback and taxi it over if there's enough space.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. It will definitely get some attention, and it's a risky takeoff because you wouldn't be taking off from the airstrip, but potentially doable.
I mean, do I see Masha hanging still at the pump or around there in her pajamas?
She is distraught over the 2 bodies of her comrades. Speaking of which, let's go back to Masha. They're trying to take the bodies over to, well, they don't really have a no one calls it a morgue because no one wants to admit it, but there's a tent near the infirmary where they kind of handle these sorts of things. And they're trying to get you away so that they can carry the bodies. Right now, it's some of the men who were lingering around the base early morning. You've gotten the impression that some men have decided to start getting up so that if there is a problem during the morning, the women won't screw it up.
Well, I mean, if they'd been up on time previous times, they would have had planes to fly, right? But I am okay with that because it's not
it's not Oleg.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to get dressed and see if there will be a plane for me to fly the next night.
So yeah, as you're getting dressed, you hear a very familiar. Well, actually, let's come back to that. So Dasha, you find we have a shot of Nazi troops trudging through the forest, and they're obviously looking for something. And we hear German, which does Dasha speak German at all?
She's from Siberia, so I doubt it.
Ira, does Sonia speak German at all?
Nope, same.
So what they're saying is pretty illegible to you, but I think the audience sees the subtitles, and it's something like, "Where did those Russian bitches go?" What makes you think they're bitches? You saw the writing on the planes, or the writing on the plane. You mean that's who's been doing this the whole time? Yeah. When we find them, we're going to wait. Did you hear something? And they go off the other direction, and the camera pans down, and basically it's one of those like little things where it's like the tree roots create a little crest, and underneath is where Sonia and Dasha were hiding.
Yeah.
It's like, we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Which, you have the compass, which way?
Well, sunrise is that way, so we should be going to the with the sun's to our back. That will get us close. I think we're right here on the map. God, this is going to take us. This might take us all day. I haven't slept in About 30, 40 hours.
Yeah, same. If we
Look,
Let's get a
maybe
little
we
further
should
away.
just get some rest here and book it at night.
Well, you know, they were just here. They have no reason to. They've already searched this area, so they might not come back here.
I'm exhausted. I'm not sure if I can make it another day without sleep.
No, not another day. Definitely. The real question is, do you know what? I'll leave. Do you want to stay here and sleep, knowing that they're not far away, or you want to run for it, or try to sneak out of here and find a better place further away? But we might make some noise getting out of here.
I don't think I'll feel safe until I'm back, but
Yeah, I know.
at the same time, I can barely see straight at this point.
Okay. All right. You could try to sleep. I'll keep watch. If you hear gunshots, wake up and help.
Yeah. And you kind of feel her drifting off to sleep. So, Masha, what is your plan for getting the plane over behind the food storage? I'm sorry, that's Hannah's plan. Hannah, what's your plan of getting the plane there?
So is there enough? There's enough fuel to start the plane and just like drive it towards the food store. It's
Yep,
not the most subtle of plans, but the quickest, I guess.
Yep. And everyone will hear what you're doing, which means everyone will see what you're doing if you do that.
Yeah, that is my plan.
So fuck subtlety. I'm flying this plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you pull it around, and yeah, I think the other Masha, the logistics and training officer, is the one who approaches you. Senior Lieutenant Maria Masha Petrova. She's like, "What the hell are you doing? This plane needs to get over to maintenance."
Look, Senior Lieutenant. Just out of character, am I a Senior Lieutenant as well?
Your rank, according to the sheet, is Lieutenant, so she's one rank above you.
We need pilots for these planes, and our best pilot is behind enemy lines. I'm getting her back.
Look, I understand that you want your comrade back. We're short on planes and we're short on pilots. We can't lose two more. So yeah, if you're gonna press the issue, it would be in acting up, and which type of acting up will be based on how you flavor it.
I say, I don't know how many missions you have flown, but it's not a comrade I'm looking for. I'm looking for the best pilot. The planes are the planes. Any idiot can fly them. We need good pilots to win the war. And I, like pointing at or straightening up my uniform with the medals dangling, I've flown a couple of missions.
Yeah, Sounds like you're doing it as a natural-born airwoman.
Let's see. Yes, it's just my strong suit. That is a 7.
So you get to choose one.
Well, I make her do what I want, which is the permission to fly.
I have flown more missions than you, Lieutenant. I know what it means, what it's like to lose a friend. The report will say I tried to stop you, but you got physical. If you care that much about your friend, then you care about the black mark on your record. Or I'm sorry, if you care that much about your friend, then the black mark on your record isn't going to mean much.
Does that mean I'm allowed to give you a black eye now?
I don't think you need to sell it that much, but
well, Hannah doesn't have the time. She rolls the plane.
Yeah, she actually
Close.
helps you like prop up the barrel to pour fuel in. And you see that after it's fueled up, she kind of sits down in the mud, spreads some over her uniform. And Ira, what are you doing during all of this? Because you were also interested in going.
Yeah, I figure I'm in the pilot seat. And yeah, anything to get the fuel in quicker.
Okay. So I want you to tempt fate in order to take off through basically a wheat field.
Ira's flying? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm flying. Okay, so that is a 4 plus 1 for humpback, and I took the ability that I roll luck for tempt fate. So that is just barely a 7.
Oh my god. So, worst outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice? Yeah, so doing this is going to damage the wheels to the plane, which means that any land. So I'm going to mark the plane as damaged, and anytime you land, you're going to need to do a wheels down. Do you accept that?
Do I have a choice?
You could back down from trying to take off this way.
Not take off.
Yeah, it's basically.
No, let's go.
I wonder what happens in Night Witches if you destroy all the planes. We may find out. So Hannah, they've taken the body away, and you're hearing the sound of a PO2. Someone's turned on the engine to taxi, which is a little odd. and you see the plane getting you see humpbacking pulled behind I'm sorry, yeah, Masha. You see humpbacking pulled behind the basically where the food is stored.
I'm pretty sure that means my my squadron comrades are doing something unwise, but I know there's not much I can do to stop them. I think though it'll work that I go over there and I'm telling them off because we need planes more than we need pilots to fly tonight's mission. And now with them,
oh, so you're
have
going
one
to
plane.
we have no planes left at the moment ready to fly. I mean, we can fly damaged ones if we're insane, right? But yeah. At the moment, the section has 0 planes ready to fly, and that's not what I expected from Hannah. Whatever about me understanding Ira's position on this. But I'm not sure I expect to actually change their minds. But I think maybe I guess I'm communicating with Hannah more about her change, right?
Yeah, so I think you get there. Justin's, just as they're pulling to take off, and you just miss them, and there in the mud is Senior Lieutenant Petrova.
Okay. I guess there's nothing to see here, right? I'm going to studiously ignore this scene of a fracas. I'm going to assume that Ira decked her, and I'm going to just about face and head back to see if I can get Rusalka in flyable condition.
Yeah. I think as you're leaving Petrova, you hear Petrova getting up, and she's saying, "I don't know where you're going to find you've got a hell of a unit, but I'm not sure where they're going to find the planes to run tonight's mission."
Well, Senior Lieutenant, I always blame the parents, when there's unruly children.
Ouch. Better not hear the Major insinuate that. You better not insinuate that to the Major.
Well, she knows where I stand on this. She's disciplined me before when she wanted me to fly the next day. I still had potato peels in my boots when I flew that bombing mission. She knows how to discipline her children, Well, Senior Lieutenant, I'd advise that you find mechanics ready to make our 2 planes that are still intact and on the ground flyable tonight. That's your job, right?
By my account, you've got 1.
Yeah, they just took the other one. And the other one is in a field somewhere.
Okay, so we have 1. Yeah, so make that flyable. That's your job, right? Logistics. This sounds logistical
technically,
to me.
Your unit damaged the plane. If Morova can't get it fixed, that's on you.
Well, that's very communist of you.
Welcome to the Red Army.
I'm doing just fine. We'll see what we can do. I'm the member of the squadron least likely to get a plane flying too.
Well, nope, you're the most likely because you're the one who's here. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and roll, I believe it's plus skill to help
Yep.
prepare.
I will do that.
So let's cut to Dasha. A couple of hours in, Sonia just starts shaking and muttering and then screaming.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I try to like simultaneously put my hand over her mouth and try to like, it's okay, don't. It's good, it's fine. It's okay, please don't scream.
Oh my god. Sorry.
It's fine. Nightmares? Yeah.
You you missed it. The day we lost half the regiment. I know you broke through to get to the tanks, but it was plane after plane after plane going down.
Yeah.
And then last night was my turn.
Well, we'll get back, okay.
Why don't you go ahead and reach out?
Damn it, roll for your party. Okay. I'm just going to hit reroll, or not reroll.
Yeah, you just
Hey,
highlight
there we
2
go.
and hit reroll.
Yeah. That's a 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she goes and like, you know what? I just want to get it over with. Let's just die here.
No. We're not. We're going to be fine.
We're not going to be fine. Even if we do get back, then next week, next month, next day, we're right back here in a ditch waiting for Nazis to shoot us in the head. Or worse.
We'll get back and you can go home. Look. Your sister has got to be back there worried sick about you. You're...
If I was dead, then at least she wouldn't have to worry anymore.
No. You really want to do that to her? It's... worrying about someone is hard. I didn't learn that until until I joined the army. I never had someone, who worried about me before. And it took me a while to get used to that idea. But it's still better than not having someone to worry about. Trust me.
I just don't think I can keep doing this. And we're gonna cut to the PO2. So you are flying during the day, and oh my god, it's beautiful up here. You can see the rolling landscape, and something occurs to you. If you can see everything going on the ground, then everyone can see you in your slow, loud plane. What's your plan to not only spot, to try to find Masha and Sonia, but also to avoid getting spotted yourself?
I imagine we're flying as low as possible. Just get to the area, circle around. Hopefully they hear us, find a stretch of road we can land and take off on, and hopefully they can get to us.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a shot of you coming in low and kind of right above the tree line. And your PO2 kind of rushes by, and panning down, that's where Masha and Sonia are hidden. And when you get to the clearing and spot the PO2, there's a bunch of German infantry that are currently tying ropes to the plane to drag it around. And when they see you, they grab for their rifles and shoot at you. I'm not going to make you roll for this because honestly, shooting a plane with a rifle is pretty difficult. It's basically taking pot shots.
Yeah, I didn't want to go all the way to the plane. I was hoping, like, the assumption is they're headed towards our base from their plane. So to go to, like, in between. But I guess we'd have to get pretty close to it because we have no idea where they are.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the, and especially with you flying low, you don't kind of have that bird's eye view of being able to spot it. It's just like, oh shit, there's the plane.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically flying, and then we hear a rifle shot, and then we're like, oh shit, oh, there it is, and turn around. And,
I assume we don't have bombs or anything that we can throw at them.
No, you used the bombs last night.
So yeah, so circle away and whatever road we think is closest to the line towards our base that hopefully they've been headed on.
Yeah, there's definitely a road that kind of cuts south and then starts moving west. But that is a heavy patrolled road. You actually see German movement on that road. However, if you don't cut south, there is basically forests with lots of cover.
Okay, I guess we got to find a spot that we have enough room to land and take off in then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that there is a clearing. It's most of the way back to the base, but it is in that same kind of section of forest. It is a very difficult landing, though.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what we spot, we gotta go for it. I guess we could briefly climb higher just to get a little bit of a better view, and then to see if there's a better spot. But that's about all I can think of. But I think we just go for it.
Okay. Even though it's day, roll a wheels down because that is the most appropriate thing right now.
Okay, that's a 6. Wheels down is skill.
Yep.
So that would be an 8.
An 8. So you choose 2.
You get another point for a humpback, right? Or was
that was including that. Yeah, I have 1 skill and then 1 for humpback. So.
Not that it makes a difference. Never mind.
So yeah, your options are: it's unflyable. The plane is damaged. If already damaged, it's a fiery wreck. Casualties on board, split 3 harm between you and the co-pilot. Your lack of skill and courage or care with the people's machinery is noted. That one seems kind of obvious right now. Your landing puts you in immediate danger.
I think, lack of skill, courage, or care with machinery is noted, and casualties on board.
Okay, how would you like to split the harm?
I think I'm already at 1 harm.
Yeah, I mean, did Hannah heal the 1 harm that's on my sheet?
Sure.
So I can take the 2 then.
Yeah, we'll say that Hannah didn't help out clearing out the field and got rest instead.
Yeah, so now we wait, I think. We
Okay.
hope that that they have heard us.
I think we maybe get our pistols out and hide in a bush and hope that we see our friends coming through the trees and not Nazis.
So let's go back to Masha. Masha, how did the repairing the plane go?
I rolled a 7 with my -1 skill, makes it a 6. So on that move, I'm sending it into combat still damaged. Maybe that's obvious, and maybe it isn't.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll leave that up to you, obviously. But Masha has no real trust in her ability to fix these things, having never done it before outside of that hour-long class that they took, right, in basic training.
Oh, Rusalka is totally fine. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Excellent.
It basically kind of flipped in the field. You were able to get the frame true again, get it recovered up. Yeah, perfectly all right.
Excellent. So one plane, ready to go. I'm wondering. I'm kind of assuming that if the guys come back, we might see them later, and then that'll be all great. But would it be completely out of bounds for Masha to go to another section in the squadron and see if they'll lend us their reserve plane for the night?
Yeah, you can certainly try.
At the very, if the mission goes ahead successfully, we will need that extra plane for Sonya and for Dasha. So I guess that's scrounging, is it? Or
yeah, let's call it scrounge.
Slightly unusual scrounge, maybe. A whole plane.
You're looking for something that will fly.
Yeah, no, not at all. That is a miss.
Yeah, so you start asking for additional planes, and hey, it's Senior Lieutenant Petrova gets word of this, and it comes up to you and says, I don't know where you think we're going to find planes, but most squadrons are down to three or less. Honestly, your team had a horseshoe up your ass until a couple of nights ago with keeping planes up and running.
Well, Senior Lieutenant Petrova, if you're making recommendations to the brass, I think this reserve plane thing is a bunch of horseshit, right? If we have a good plane, why not fly it? But
that's the thing. That we're out of reserve planes.
Okay. No, fair enough.
It looked like we were going to get expanded, get some more planes for us, but something soured the general.
Well, it wasn't me for once.
God, if I knew that you talked to the general, I'd beat your ass for the unit.
Well, generals like people with medals, Petrova.
Look, I'm almost knowing you. I'm sure you'll do something stupid like steal some yaks again.
Hey, I'm the only one who flew who flew an actual PO2 that night from our section.
She rolls her eyes. She's like, "Sure, I believe that. Sure, that's what happened. You totally didn't just ask Ira to cover for you." She believes it was you. She doesn't know that you're a terrible pilot. She believes that it was you in the yak and that Ira was just covering for you because Ira's nice.
Yeah, well, there you go. My reputation precedes me. Okay. I guess I'm flying in the cursed plane tonight. The cursed and damaged plane.
Okay. I think this is a good place to take a break because we're about halfway through. And when we come back, we'll try to get this all resolved. And by resolved, everything horrible will happen again. So how about 28, 29 after? Okay.
I'm hoping I'm getting all of my great dice rolling luck out of the way before the mission, right? That's my strategy.
Yeah, because that's
how it works,
totally what
right?
you can count on. And having a mission pool of one that's a great strategy. No, things are really rough for your unit right now.
I guess we can all have an informal interview, right? We don't need mission pool for that.
Oh well, it's going to already happen. You did steal a plane again. Just this time you don't have a general who liked it or a good excuse. Like, hey, the base is being attacked and the men aren't around to fly their planes. That kind of almost flew. Close enough to flying that, didn't quite come around right away, but definitely looked bad. Especially because you did it with no bullets.
Yeah. Was it worse that I did it, or was it worse that I did it stupidly?
Yes. Yay, we're all back. Okay. So Dasha, you hear the sound of a PO2 interrupting your conversation. And it just buzzed right overhead. Going the wrong way, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
What do you and Sonia do?
So it went past us toward.
Yeah, we're going back in time to where it buzzed
cool.
overhead.
God, we can't just like run out yelling, "Hey, we're down here," because the Germans might still be around. I think at the very least, I kind of stop and like, see, they're looking for us. We're gonna get out of here. It's okay.
God, a PO2 during the day? That only sounded like one. That sounds like suicide.
I mean, a lot of what we do sounds like suicide.
Yes, now you get it.
Look, just listen. It'll come back and, well, it's got to come back this way eventually because we're between it and the base. So,
unless they get themselves shot down.
Yeah. That's something to worry about if it happens. Just wait and listen, okay?
Yeah, it's like a good 20, 30, about 45 minutes before you hear back again. and this time it's coming back the other direction.
Mhm.
But you like the echo ends before you think it would.
Right. Yeah. So I like grab Sonya and I'm like, run. The noise will cover us.
So back to the landing. I really liked how painting this scene works. So let's do a paint a scene for the rough landing where everyone just adds one detail. And let's do a reverse character keeper order, starting with Hannah.
I mean, I was wondering where the harm comes from. So I think it's a rough landing. The wheels touch the ground, and then maybe something breaks or something. But then the plane gets what's it called, like pushed back up in the sky, and we see that Hannah crashes against the side of the plane, and something, I don't know, like there's a bruise on her, like maybe there's blood on her uniform.
Do we like hear something pop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ira, what's a detail of this rough landing?
I think Ira hits her head on a post or something, and so she's just got a cut. So blood's kind of coming down the side of her face.
Okay. I'm sorry. Masha's next.
I think the clearing that they land in, when we see the wheel touchdown for the first time, it just rolls over a few footprints in the mud, German boot prints of a patrol that's going in the direction maybe away from where Dasha and Sonya are, but we know they're in the area, right? But there's a close call on another side.
And Dasha.
So it's just like a smallish clearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see the plane land, and it's like, it looks like it's going too fast, and it's just gonna like hit the trees on the other end of the clearing. But it slows down enough that like stops with a few yards to spare only, and they're gonna have to like turn it around and go back the opposite way to take off. There's not enough room to like take off and or land and then take off in the same direction.
And as Ira and Hannah are getting out of the plane, the camera pans up, and we see the up in the sky a couple of airwolves circling around. Basically in search of this rogue PO2.
Focke-Wulfs or futuristic helicopters.
Yeah, I don't know all the aviation names, and I haven't had a chance to like do the research, which is how I learned what a yak was, and so.
No, when you said Airwolf, my mind goes somewhere else entirely.
Oh, the old '80s TV show. Yeah. I thought that's what you were calling the German planes, because I know, Dano, you are a lot more familiar with World War II aeronautics than I am.
No worries.
So, Dasha, how is Dasha approaching this clearing?
Carefully. I think there's a lot of like, go, stop, listen, keep moving, stop, listen, because the last thing in the world I want is to just like stumble upon a German patrol.
Okay. So yeah, when you get into when you get clear near the clearing, you see Ira and Hannah struggling to reposition the plane.
So I just walk up and like grab it and start helping them without saying anything.
Your response is, "This is kind of creepy."
Yeah, I'm more interested how Ira reacts to her sister, seeing her sister emerge from the woods.
Yeah, Sonia's kind of staying back right at the edge of the clearing rather than rushing in.
Yeah, I think Ira runs over and grabs her and holds her, and then again, we've seen Ira do this before. Just starts like patting her down, looking for injuries, and completely invading her personal space.
Yeah, yeah, Sonia is totally bawling at this point. She just falls into a mess crying.
Yeah, I just pull her to the plane. Come on, there's no time. We need to be quick.
So, the plane has 2 seats. You have 4 people. Actually, Dasha, you also notice the plane is not horizontal right now. It is at a very noticeable angle, despite the fact that this is relatively level ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll check the landing gear.
Oh God, those wheels are barely held together right now.
So is it the wheel that's broken, or like one of the struts, or
like, so the struts normally go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, it's like this.
Is it so?
So basically, like the strut is cracked and bent.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look for like a branch or something to like splint it, basically, just enough to get us back. This isn't a long-term repair, but
yeah, no, I'm not going to let this be a repair. But yeah, you can kind of jury rig it and might work.
Yeah, great.
You are also hearing the familiar sound of German fighters in the air.
Oh shit. Okay.
Do we have to remove one of the second chair to cram everyone inside, or would it fit anyhow?
Well, that was part of what I was going to ask. Is what is your plan for fitting everyone in? Are you going to have people just hold on to the wing struts and fly like that back? Were you going to try to cram people into the seats? Were you going to try to make adjustments to the plane?
Yeah, I think Hannah is busy removing the navigator seat.
Yeah, I'm looking around. Okay, so who's the smallest? We'll like cram them.
I recall definitely not Dasha.
No.
At least your portrait showed you looking pretty muscular.
Yeah.
I think we probably want Dasha to be flying us back.
Everyone else is hurt.
And you can get it safely on the ground once we're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just remove the seat, and just the 3 of us will be crammed in the navigator's spot.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to just hold on to something, which seems like a bad idea if we're going to have a rough landing.
I mean, would the plan to be that somebody's outside of the plane, like like in a James Bond movie? Is that the plan?
I think that's a bad plan, but
Well, let's face it. At this point, there's no good plans.
I mean, it happens. People can do it.
Do we at least have like a parachute or something? I mean, Hannah would be crazy enough to do it, but not without a parachute.
Do we have like maybe some rope at least to like tie
Yeah,
you on?
Yeah, I think rope. Yes.
Because like I don't want Hannah flying off if I have to bank suddenly.
Hannah's also injured. Just saying.
Great.
So we're saying even removing the seat, we can't cram 3 people into that navigator's spot?
Not 3. I'd say if you take out the seat, you can fit 2 uncomfortably, both because there's no seat and because it's tight on room. I mean, so a seat in these planes isn't like a seat in like a car even. It's more of just it's more of like a seat that you would see in a public school desk. It's something bolted down, so if you sit, it's comfortable. There's this is not
like a kayak.
Yeah, it's not really an advanced piece of equipment. It is, the seat is so that you can fit in. There's not like the 4-point harness or anything like that. These are old school planes.
Yeah,
that's
so
why you get it's why you get banged around so much, is because you're not properly harnessed into place for dangerous maneuvers.
Right. Because crop dusters are not designed for dangerous maneuvers.
Normally, Hannah would volunteer to be tied to the to the wings, but not with a popped shoulder.
And yeah, that seems like
I think Ira will just be behind the navigator's seat, so holding on, and you could tie me.
So you're gonna like tie yourself onto the tail?
Yeah, tie me onto the tail, and so that I can kind of be holding on to the back of the seat, and they can hold on to me as well, and then I think that's the way to go.
This is so insane. I love it.
I am grateful enough for this that I'm not criticizing, but
okay. So I'm going to make I'm going to say there's 3 tempt fates here. There is Ira being able to stay secured on the tail of the plane. There is Dasha trying to avoid the Nazi fighters, and just because I don't want it to just be Bethany holding, I'm also going to say Hannah to say, hey, can we get the plane enough runway with that damaged landing gear to actually take off in time? So let's start with Hannah's, then go to Dasha's, then go to Ira's, and we'll kind of build up the danger here. Because yes, this is insanely dangerous. There's so many things working against you guys right now.
All right. So plus. Yes.
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out.
It's a 10.
Nice.
And plus nothing's stays a 10.
Okay, so yeah, you take off, and it's like the bottom of your wheels are like that far from touching the tree line, but it is a clean but it's a nice clean takeoff. Which brings us into the scramble of German fighters. There are 5 planes scrambled against you, Dasha.
Ooh, boy.
So this is going to take. Now they are way faster than you.
Right.
So they have started learning how to do longer runs against you, but let's see how you handle this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go much above where we just cleared the trees. I'm gonna stay just clearing these trees. With just a little bit of wiggle room, but ideally they don't want to get directly behind us, and they really don't want to slow down to our speed.
You're doing it low and slow.
Yep.
That's not what that term means.
But it works because that is a 12.
There are a ton of near hits there, but they just can't figure out how to buzz the tree line for so long to line up a shot. They try doing dives to hit you, but they're just not getting you until they're getting close enough to the Russian front where you start getting anti-air and fighter support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Ira, tempt fate to see how you handle being tied to this tail.
Okay, so I just rolled a 3. So it would be plus luck.
No, plus guts, right?
Well,
plus guts.
Oh no, right. Yeah, you have to get
plus. So that's a 5 plus. I'm holding on to humpback, so that's a 6.
Do you have regard for any of us?
You can only get one plus regard.
Yeah. Well, you definitely take a mark. So Dasha is not as smooth as she thinks she is.
Right. And I'm playing Humpback, the wild plane.
Yeah. So a lot, they're actually, when they're doing those dive shots, they are actually hitting the plane. It's just going through and through on the canvas. However, you're tied to the tail, so you get a through and through in your leg. Take a harm. I was like, do I kill Ira here? Oh, I could so kill Ira here. But no, I'm going to leave that for getting back to place. Hey, Dasha, how are you going to land this thing?
Oh, our field is still fucked up, isn't it?
No, the field... So the field's cleared off.
Okay.
The bigger issue is
I don't know how landing
the
gear
balancing is weird, and the landing gear is all fucked up.
Right.
On the plus side, if you do casualties aboard, there are way more options of who takes the harm.
There is that, yes. Trying to think of whether it would be better to try to land it off of the... Nah, I mean, it's just all mud all the time anyway. So I was thinking maybe use the wheat field to slow it down because of the mud, but I doubt our airfield is much less muddy. So yeah, I'm just gonna very carefully land it. Try to go in as smoothly as possible because I don't want to knock Ira off the plane. And that is wheels down. Which wheels down?
Is skill.
Okay. Ooh. All right, I rolled a 6, but I have 1 skill. Also, I have regard for Masha, who isn't... No, Masha is not the only one who's not in the plane. Okay, but I do have 1 skill, so it's 7.
Yes. And that's what's important. So you get to choose 2. Either it's a fiery wreck, there's casualties on board, I'm going to cross out your lack of skill and courage
It's
because
already
no, that's no. Or your landing puts you in immediate danger.
well. I'll take the casualties. Well, how many harm is that?
3 split between everyone in the plane.
I'll take all 3.
Oh,
Everyone's hurt,
wow.
and I am not hurt. So
Okay, let's think about what that looks like in a little bit. And we move back to Dasha. So you've stayed up all day trying to find some additional planes for your unit. And there are just not any planes. Where do you go after you kind of got that harsh message?
Let's see. I have repaired Roshalka. I have been told off by Petrova twice today. There's nothing really to do except see if I can catch some shut-eye. As far as I'm aware, I'm going to be like flying the only plane out of here tonight, at least with our section. So yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep.
So
we don't
you're
have
heading.
any pilots returning fit for duty anyway.
I mean, like, I'm thinking I might have to actually brief the section, which is just something I'm not ready for.
So as you are heading to your bunk, yeah, I think you're heading to your bunk, and as you're about to crawl in, Andropova kicks the bed and is like, "Since when do you get to sleep?"
Who's this?
This is
my best friend who's not in the section, or some
this
other.
is your
Andropova?
friend. This is your friend from the 588.
Okay. Say what now?
When you're confused, she smiles and is like, gives you a big old hug.
It's been a shitty day, worse than usual, I suppose. Half of my section are who knows, and the other half is dead.
Yeah, I've heard that it's rough, and I heard that you are short on planes.
Yeah, well, no reserve. Well, I guess that German attack, right, took out all the reserve planes and a lot more, and I guess I'll be flying solo.
Yeah,
tonight.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, I mean, look, I have complete faith in Dasha. She will bring back her plane.
No, I mean, look, I know it's not a bomber, but last I checked, you're short on pilots and planes.
Yeah. There's not very much left of the section at the moment.
Could you use a fighter escort?
Yeah, I guess. You I mean, you able to fly at night? Because I don't want to kill you.
Last I checked, the 588th has been flying day and night for 2-3 times this week.
Yeah. That's how they plan on getting us out of the army. Feet first in a ditch.
Look, enough with the fucking black humor. I'm trying to help
sorry.
out.
We've met. My name is Masha. Black humor is the only humor I do.
Look, I'm saying, I think it's about if you and your comrades are flying double missions, I think it's about time that I start doing the same.
Okay, well, I think Masha will give her a hug back because she appreciates it. Sure. Well, we'll give you some pointers on what we do, and I guess you better see if you can come to the briefing. Even though we're flying in the shittest planes in the universe, they do give us, maps and mission plans.
So you are going to have Andropova on your back, and her tail number is 3.
Okay, that's very swanky. 3.
Okay. So Dasha, you took all of the harm.
Yeah.
How did you manage? Honestly, this is a maneuver only Dasha can do. So you chose casualties on board, and what was the other one?
Oh shit! I gotta choose another one. Huh. Do I want to? I mean, I'm not sure how the other two aren't basically the same thing. Your landing puts you in danger, or it's a fiery wreck. I mean,
So the fiery wreck isn't going to do any more damage to PCs, but the plane's going to be absolutely destroyed.
right.
Putting you guys into danger means that there's potentially going to be more harm coming your way or other consequences.
Shit. Oh man, none of us can take more harm, so I'm gonna wreck the plane.
No, can we not, like, instead of harm, can we not get a mark or something?
Not one of the options.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, Dasha should have taken a mark for being behind enemy lines.
Oh,
I forgot to mention that.
Okay, I'll have to look at him.
There's so much else going on in this game. I
know,
keep
right?
forgetting about marks. And marks are amazing. So yeah.
I think that splint didn't work as well as I thought it would.
Yeah. I think the landing gear just breaks off one of the wheels, which makes you like instantly turn, and you go right into a tree. The PO2 has a lot of crumple zone, but not nearly as much for you as it is for everyone else.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of dazed, but you do like a check, and everyone feels pretty well, as fucked up as they were before, except Dasha's not talking.
Yeah, so Hannah kicks the door open and tries to grab Dasha with the one working arm to pull her out of the plane.
I'm probably cutting ropes off of myself.
Yeah, you're not doing so hot either, Ira.
No.
Yeah, so I think people like see the wreck and they bring out stretchers. They see that Ira's not doing. Actually, everyone is taken to the infirmary. And Masha, you definitely. I think you hear the crash during the hug with Andropova.
Yeah, so or even I hear the unmistakable sound of a PO2 coming in. maybe just seconds before or a minute before the crash. So yeah, I am running as soon as I hear it.
Yeah. So
An action I've been taking all too often.
Was that?
An action I've been taking all too often, running out to find a crash.
Yes. So yeah, I think everyone's in the infirmary now. Everyone's together.
We went from Masha being the one in the infirmary to everyone else, everyone but Masha.
Masha's doing fine.
So is Hannah the only one who's not actually at 3 harm?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I will let the nurses do the imminent kind of medical attention on Ira and Dasha and go to Hannah instead. I guess you brought everyone back, right? That was the plan.
Well, the plan was to bring both planes back and everyone, but I think I failed.
Well, I mean, a PO2 is just a PO2, right? But pilots take a lot more time to make. So I think you come out the right side of the equation.
I don't know. I've taken second thoughts, but seeing Ira and Assisted together and having Dasha around might be worth a destroyed humpback. Or is it?
Yeah, I think Ira is going to be pretty upset when she wakes up. Humpback was her favorite.
Oh shit. I just realized something. Ira might not survive this. We'll get to that in a second. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Hannah, you did fine, okay? I mean, obviously it's not what I would have done, but you're a lieutenant for a reason. You have to make hard decisions.
I don't know. We lost so many. Valentina, Sophia. I can't stand to lose another one. So I think you have to fly for us tonight.
Yeah. I don't even know who else is on the roster.
And I think Hannah pulls you a bit closer and she says, if you're flying 281, shit.
I know. It kills navigators. I've flown in that as navigator before,
I put a finger on your lips and say, no, listen to me. Sophia will fly with you. She'll take care of you.
Sophia? Okay, I'm not sure. Who is reaching out to who in this situation?
Yeah, I think Hannah's reaching out, definitely.
Okay, go ahead. I'm on board for that. I love reaching out.
Let's see. It's plus nothing.
It's plus nothing, but if I'm doing it, I have regard for Hannah, so I get a +1. But you're just flat at the moment.
Wow, it's another 10.
Nice.
And I mean, fictionally it makes sense because what Hannah is saying is that it makes fictionally sense to add 1 to the mission pool.
Mhm.
And are you harmed?
No, I'm fine.
I mean, I could.
You can take it for yourself, right? And you'd be at 1 harm, and then you could fly yourself.
Yes. Everything works according to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anna says she has been with me like since her death, and she saved my life twice.
Yeah, so I think Masha does not know what to say to this, but just returns the hug.
I just need to get my shoulder like popped in again, and then the 2 of us will join you.
Not free dash.
Yeah, I think that's when the doctor shows up, and it's like, excuse me, Sergeant, goes in, takes like a casual look, and very just aggressively pops the shoulder into place. Very, very roughly, very like, not really any bedside manner. Pats you on the shoulder, which still stings. It's like, you get to fly.
Yeah, Hannah mock salutes with the other arm.
So Dasha, you're coming to, and you're kind of in surgery right next to Ira, and it's very MASH style. Not a lot of painkillers to knock you out.
Mhm.
You are a little bit buzzed. They probably gave you something like ether or something. But on the table next to you, you kind of see Ira, and they're yelling, "We're losing her." So Ira, here's the thing about regard. When the aircraft you have regard for dies or is destroyed, you take 1 harm immediately, which I believe
man.
brings you to 4 harm.
Yep.
So
I chose that to avoid that.
so I'm very sorry, Ira. I forgot about that rule. That was going to happen. But that is also part of the game, and it is super tragic.
Do you think I should make Sonia my new character, or should we bring someone new in?
Definitely
Is
you
the
can
question.
make NPCs as characters, including any of the higher up officers if you have enough advancements to take their rank, which I believe. Let me sit down and figure out how many advancements a new character would start with, because Noella will have to also start a new character, but Sonia is definitely on the table, and I think it would be very appropriate for you to take her over as a PC. But yeah, this is a bloody game.
Question on that, David. Kite. Masha has regard for Kite, which is captured by the Germans. I don't know. Is it destroyed?
It's not destroyed. Okay. Well, actually, you have regard for it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make too much difference, because if I take the harm, then Horst Rule there would have removed it. But are we marking it off as loss to the regiment? That's the question.
I was marking it as lost, so yeah. Let's say that you did take the harm and then you healed it back.
I guess also I hear that it's been left behind. The thing I was assuming that Dasha would fly back doesn't happen. So yeah.
Yeah, but your connection with Hannah is like people are more important than planes. But now there is also that open regard slot that you can refill.
Or do I fill that immediately or?
I don't believe so. I believe you.
I've got to do a reach out.
Yeah, you do it through a reach out.
Switches.
Actually, let me double check it. I know you can do it between duty stations. I'm not sure if you can do it between missions, just normally. Let's try 11. Nope. 13. Nope. Probably 21. Changing regard. Approach. You may come to. You are free to change a slot's tone at any time, and you can change who the slot targets in between sessions. So next session, you can change. You can fill that open regard slot.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, I think. Yeah, let's do the briefing and then finish out the session. So, I think before we do the briefing, at this point, Bereshzenskaya comes and grabs both Masha and Hannah out of the infirmary. And yeah, she goes right up to Hannah. Is like, "What the hell were you thinking?"
I think that the Red Army does not leave prisoners of war. Like, we bring comrades back.
We bring comrades back. Of course we fucking don't. Don't you think I want to? Don't you think I want to save every woman who goes down? But this is the reason we can't. Instead of being down one plane and maybe 2 pilots, we have 2 pilots who may die right now, 2 lost planes, and quite honestly, an upcoming NKVD investigation. Because guess what? We don't have the protection of the general that we enjoyed over those last couple of months.
Hannah looks down. I'm sorry, Major. I made a mistake.
You made a mistake that we all want to make. But the difference between a leader and a soldier is a leader doesn't get to make those. Masha, since you had the good sense to stay on base and try to prepare for the mission, you're on squadron leader tonight. Come with me.
Yes, sir. Major, I had been talking to Lieutenant Andropova, who offered us some top cover tonight.
Yes, she's come to talk to me. Fool girl wants to get herself killed. She's more than welcome to do it on our behalf.
That's kind of what I told her. She said, if we can fly during the day, she can fly at night. I don't think that's the way it works.
She's got guts. Gotta give her that. So she brings you into the room. You actually see that Andropova's commanding officer is in this briefing. He definitely wants to hear what his pilot has agreed to do. The mission is bombing the heavily defended village of Tanaman behind the dreaded Blue Line. Expect anti-aircraft artillery unless you come in oversea. It's itself a dangerous proposition. So, as squadron commander, you have to make the judgment call if you're going to come in over land and avoid possible naval interference and being easier to spot by German planes, or if you're going to come in over the sea, avoid the anti-aircraft fire. But you don't know what's going to be at sea coming in. Plus, nice clear landscape for German fighters to spot you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been navigating a while, right? So I know that when you make a mistake navigating, it's probably what's going to kill you if you're inexperienced. So I think we've got to go over land. We don't want these newbie pilots mistaking the starlight reflecting off the water for the sky and just going straight into the waves. So we're going to go over land.
You're about to be dismissed when someone comes in and whispers into Lebedova's ear. She nods. One last thing. It's now your duty as squadron commanders to deliver some very unfortunate news. Sergeant Daria Yegorova has passed away on the operating table.
That's me, or is...
I'm sorry. I'm so used to Ira being yellow from the last season.
Yeah.
Irina Goryeskaya has passed away on the operating table. Junior lieutenant. I know she was a friend and comrade to many. Please inform your teams. That is all.
Okay, so I guess I'll go out and tell Hannah the news.
Well, there's someone else in that briefing. Sonia didn't take any harm.
Okay, but she's in the... I thought there was section leaders and above who got briefed.
Well, and then you brief your squadron.
Okay.
So Hannah and Sonia are waiting for you because they're on the roster to fly. Although there's only two pilot seats. I'm sorry, Andropova is also waiting for to be briefed. But there's only a total of 3 pilot seats and 4 pilots.
Okay, well, I'm not going to send Sonia out flying tonight, so I will, if she doesn't know already, I will tell her the news. Sonia, the major just told us Ira's dead. They tried to save her, but she was too far gone.
No, and she literally runs off crying. And when I say run off, I mean like out of the camp, like out into the random fields.
Okay, well, we got a mission to fly tonight. Hannah, this is Evgenia. She'll be giving us some top cover, which we'll probably need, given that we don't have anyone to fly our usual dummy runs to clear the ground for us.
Yeah, try to keep up. No, seriously, I don't want to lose you. My plane's much faster.
We're not going to keep up. You're just going to have to circle like a bitch in heat, right?
Oh, God, this is insane.
I like our top airspeed is what 80 knots, right? That's you're going to be stalling if you try to do much below that.
I'll try to hit the Krauts before they get to you.
Yeah, I mean the good news for you is that our fuel tanks are small and we can stay up for about an hour, so you can fly around to your heart's content for double that, right? So yeah, I guess I outlined the plan, which everyone knows, and we load up and go for it. Obviously, Hannah is in the pilot seat. Technically, I should not take that for granted, but she's making the attack run. I am wayfinding all our rolls and one NPC Vedamaya. So what could possibly go wrong?
And our mission pool is 0, I guess.
No, you had some mission pool. I think it was 1.
I think it's 2, right?
2.
2, yeah. So 1 from the reach out and 1 from the
act up.
Act up, yeah, early
on. Wow, this season is brutal.
Okay. So I guess I'm wayfinding. Whew, that is a 12.
Good, you need it.
So yeah, I think we're going in overland and flying low and slow and avoiding the anti-air and not crashing into the ground.
And then Hannah flies, or Hannah does the attack run.
Yeah, it's plus guts, which means plus nothing. Or does my regard for Rusalka gives me anything?
Yes. Although one thing you have noticed right away while doing this was whoever thought they fixed this plane didn't. The wings, always have some give, but not like this. They're not supposed to flap like an actual bird. Everything's shaking. Your stick is completely loose. Like you need to slam the stick to get any sort of action going.
I shout behind Sue. So Masha is in the plane.
Yes.
Yeah, I shout behind me. I don't think that they shaved Mirova's head. They removed her brain. This plane is fucked.
Yep.
Okay, let's roll.
Also, ouch! She was assaulted, and you just insult.
I don't know that. So yeah. So is it plus regard then?
Yes. If you have regard for the plane that you're flying, you do get to add that.
Awesome. Ooh, that is it is a 7. It's an 8.
It's an 8. You do have 2 mission pool. Yeah. However, you still need to land.
You still need to land, right?
This flying wreck.
Let's see. 2 consequences. A plane in my section is damaged. Which plane would that be? Definitely, I choose marked, which is always fun. Yeah, man. Can I choose a plane in my section as damaged? Probably not, because
yes, you can. There is another plane in your section.
let's do that then.
Yeah. There's no consequences for damaging one of those very expensive yaks. Yaks aren't expensive. They're just way more expensive than a PO2. Yeah. So I think on the attack run, you have to do a lot of attack runs because you're basically trying to do the work of 3 planes, and normally you would do like 6 to 10 runs a night. You are trying to push this to like hopefully get 15 in just to do enough damage so that this will be significant. However, that means that Andropova in her plane, the Red Wedding. Hey, before Game of Thrones, has been in more than a few dogfights. So by the time the evening's over, it's got a bunch of bullet holes in it. Let's see you do the wheels down at the end of the mission to see, are you landing this plane all right?
Which is plus skill.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. This is another 7. 6 plus 1.
So you have to choose 2 options from the wheels down.
But do you have plus 1 for regard for Rusalka, right?
Yes, that makes it.
And you have 2 mission pool.
And we have the 2 mission pools. I don't want to wreck another plane, so let's use the 2 mission pool points and bump it up to 10.
Okay, perfect. Somehow you land this piece of shit. It was a lonely, hard mission. It felt like drudgery not having your squad on your back. And as soon as you land, Andropova gets out of her plane. Her commanding officer is there to greet her, takes one look at the plane, and just starts yelling about how stupid of an idea this was. And he's taking her off. And that's where we're ending it. Yay! I think that was a great session. I really love what happened. I'm sorry, Brian, for killing off your character. But let's do a round of wishes and stars.
Yeah, let me start. Stars, I don't know, to my fellow players, I think. It felt so good to have the old crew together. Yeah, and I really regret that we hadn't had more like scenes between. Maybe like a scene would have been cool, like when we were waiting for the 2 refugees to arrive, like a scene between, the ones who were waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Hannah had a very complicated history with Ira. I think I called her out on one of the first missions for a mistake. And yeah, so yeah, great session overall. I made the decision for Hannah to go after Dasha because I thought Hannah has changed. She's not the by the books person anymore, and I wanted that to be reflected. And also, I thought for my last session, it would be good to have a little bit of drama. And also, I love the behind enemy lines scenes. They're so dramatic and yeah. And wishes. I mean, I wish I were in the last session. That's my wish.
Sorry, you're not. Yeah, wow. I mean, stars for everybody. I kind of was I guess like a little nervous about this session because I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be like my character is gonna die at the beginning of the session. And also I really, really did not want to kill Sonya because like by this point, I mean, come on, she's been alive the entire season, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's keep my never killing a navigator record unbroken here. And unfortunately, in my effort to do that, I am so sorry, Brian. I did not know that was the thing. Oh, but stars for reacting so calmly about it. Yeah, wow. But anyway, yeah, nothing went the way I thought it might. So, very cool. Wishes. I would like to see more like PC interaction next session because I think that this. Well, I mean, there was a lot happening this session, so there wasn't a whole lot of time for it. But I think there's certainly enough drama to support that, or like enough stuff to support that being super dramatic. And I just realized Dasha has no idea that 3 of the section are dead. That's, yeah. I think that's the only, yeah, I think that's all. Oh, and Horse, that was awesome. That was like such a character turn for Hannah that I was like, what, really? Oh, that's so.
Dano?
Yeah, I was about to say something very early on, like that Oksana is the character who makes the audience discover that they like Hannah, but I think the changes in the character that Masha sees, obviously, are definitely happening. So yeah, I love that. Can I have 2 stars, David?
Oh, absolutely. You can have as many stars as you want.
Okay, a constellation. So even though I wasn't involved in it at all, I really loved the behind enemy lines sequence of scenes. That was fantastic. And wishes. I am looking forward to Sonya kicking 7 shades of Nazi ass next week.
Brian?
Yeah, that was intense. I know Ira would certainly prefer for her to be the one who goes down before Sonya. So I think that's why I think if Sonya had
was injured protecting Sonya.
Yeah, who knows where that bullet would have ended up if Ira hadn't taken it. Yeah, that was intense. That was That was, I think, everything that Night Witches is supposed to be. So it was great.
Okay. Yeah, definitely stars all around. I love the growth we saw off of Hannah. First season, she would have never even thought of running that unofficial mission. And I think you played it great, and I think it worked out great. And I think it's actually is a huge growing moment of like, hey, Hannah needs to decide what it means for her to be a leader. Because on one hand, she wants to take care of her unit. On the other hand, the army says, hey, look, this was more damaging than if you just stayed put. So I really want to see in season 3 how Hannah reconciles that, because that's super cool. Masha, you were like the responsible one this season or this session, and that was super amazing. You were trying to be like, hey, we need to get more planes, we need to get this taken care of. Oh my god, what the hell did Hannah do here? So there was a lot more than just snark. But I also saw you still bucking against authority, so that was that's classic Masha right there. So yeah, that was super cool. Ira, the desperation of being like, this is a terrible idea, but I've got to save my sister. That's spot on. And oh god, what a sad end for Ira. The death, the destruction of Humpback broke your heart, and you just couldn't fight on. I'm not sure how often the destruction of a plane kills a character. I'll have to ask around on that. Masha, this time I was trying to extend out the drama of being caught behind enemy lines and make it more cinematic, and I think it paid off. I love your interactions with Sonya, and especially because Sonya was I was trying to mimic where Sonya was, like where you were season 1.
Yeah.
And watching how Dasha changed there was super cool, and I think those were some great scenes. So yeah. Wishes, god, I have no idea how I'm going to bring this all together for a finale, especially with 2 new characters coming in. So that's going to be big. I hope that it's going to be a satisfying end to the season. In season 1, I liked ending it with a high point. I think with everything that happened over the last 2 sessions, I want to try to do that again, to hit into the hope there. I have to give some really serious thought of what the hell's going on, especially because there's so many threats against you right now. So I'm really excited and nervous for that. So we'll see how that goes. Is there anything else anyone wants to say before we end the broadcast?
Yeah, so maybe a wish for Hannah, because I won't be there for the last session, is that it would make sense if the NKVD takes care of her, and then hopefully when there's a 3rd season, then Hannah will come back from whatever happened to her, maybe changed again.
Yeah, I think that totally works, that you're not in the next session's mission because of the NKVD interview there. So that sounds perfectly all right to me. Okay. I'm going to cut off the broadcast so we have some more time to chat and kind of decompress, because that was heavy.